What's up guys, Joe Parfanook here and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today's video is going to get into how I am able to not touch any of the products that I buy. I use a thing called a prep center, which means you're shipping the products from the retail website to the prep center. Then the prep center goes and sends it out to Amazon, and then you don't have to touch a single unit of product that way. The problem many people face is finding the right prep center. So this video is going to get into exactly how you can find the best prep center for your online arbitrage business. With that being said, let's get into the tutorial to show you exactly how you can do this for your business. As always, if you got value, please like and subscribe. Thank you guys. Let's get into it.
What's up guys? Welcome to the tutorial portion of the video. So I'm going to go over this exhaustive list that one of my good friends, Christopher Grant, made. He's an awesome guy to follow for online arbitrage on Instagram, Twitter, but he made an exhaustive list of prep centers. So if you're doing online arbitrage, the one thing you need to understand is you need to find a prep center in a sales tax free state. So those are Oregon, Montana, Delaware, New Hampshire. Those are the main ones there that most people use. So my prep center is in Delaware. I have one in Montana as well. And, basically I'm able to use it for different scenarios and stuff like that. Because with the East Coast, you'll get way quicker check-in times with Delaware or New Hampshire. So that might be the way to go, but you are going to pay a little more expensive of a prep fee. So if you don't know, you pay a per unit fee for everything that the prep center receives. And we'll go over that in this video so you can see examples of what it looks like. But yeah, so, with the East Coast, you are getting the benefit of check-in times quicker. With Montana and Oregon, the check-in times are rather slower. So know that going in, but the price is cheaper. So it's kind of just the trade-off, which one you're trying to do or which one you prioritize more, the price or the check-in time. So basically, we're going to go through this list here. So he has a couple things here that explains exactly what I'm talking about. So when you order to these states, you do not pay sales tax. And that's why it is so beneficial to use these prep centers, because they are in a sales tax free state. So rather than paying that 7-8% sales tax, you can basically send it there sales tax free. And with these products that are higher priced, so let's say you're selling a makeup that is like $50 or something like that, those are going to be taxed at 7-8%. So you're going to pay more than the prep fee in sales tax. But if you send it to a sales tax free state, you do not have to worry about that, which is a really nice benefit of it. So that's really where it comes in, and that's why people send it to sales tax free states. And yeah, so Amazon can label it for you, but it's a lot of issues. They'll lose a lot of units. So I would not suggest that you use Amazon FBA prep service over a third-party prep center. I think the third-party prep centers are just much better. So you're going to want to go to the USA prep centers. So if you're doing wholesale, they have ones in different states like California. If you're doing wholesale, I'd recommend New Jersey or California on the coast. It's usually the best because your suppliers will be around there. But we're going to look at Delaware, and we're going to look at, so these two here I know pretty well. I know Delaware prep center is a really good prep center. If you can get in there, it is a very good prep center. If you're doing a certain amount of volume, I can help you get into my prep center if you're interested. So it is also in Delaware, but you have to be doing 1,000 units a month with online arbitrage. That's the only thing. So if you're a more experienced seller watching this video, shoot me a DM on Instagram or Discord, and we can definitely get that worked out for you. But yeah, so this is an example here. So we're looking at pretty typical receiving, inspection, labeling, bundling. This is everything you want to see. Most prep centers will do that for free. The most important thing is to view their pricing. And these prep centers are not necessarily personally vetted, but they are pretty well known in the space. Chris can't personally vouch for all of them, neither can I, but obviously you got to do your own due diligence. So they have FBM, merchant fulfilled services, wholesale, private label. We're going to look at online arbitrage pricing here. So this is also for larger sellers as well. And it looks like it is $196 per unit. It's a little expensive, but it is in Delaware. So you are getting really good check-in times. The more you send them, the less it is. So if you get to this 2,500, which I'm probably around the 2,500 unit mark, I'll get for $1.75. So there's a couple extra things you want to look into. You want to look at the extra services and see what you're getting charged extra for. So seems pretty normal, everything that's being charged extra. Receiving units, I don't know what that means. That's something I would definitely clarify, because that could just be a little bit of a tack on if they're saying for receiving and auditing and verifying it's 19 cents per unit. That could be asking if you want to check the units and make sure they're like legit or something like that, that you want them to inspect it. Something like that. That could be that. I would definitely clarify that. But what it includes, so it includes all these standard things. So poly bags are free with the 196, which is a good touch. Sticker removals, expiration dates, all the standard stuff, damaged item handling, suffocation labels, 14 days of inventory storage, and they'll store your paper invoices, which is kind of a nice touch there as well. So yeah, looks pretty standard to me. Definitely more on the expensive side. That's what you're going to get with Delaware. Now let's look at a not so good one. So I know this one because I've seen it before, and it just looks very sketchy the way the rates are. So, if you look at this, that's the tariffs. We want to look at FBA. So FBA Prep Center. So their rate is super cheap, and this is kind of a red flag in my opinion. So they charge for box forwarding. There's a bunch of additional things they charge here for. Inspection, $35 per hour. I don't even know what that means. So yeah, I don't know. It just looks a little sketchy to me. It looks like they're tacking on. Box forwarding is certain by how many pieces you're charged. So they have a number you can contact, but honestly, this one just looks a little sketchy. It's not very clear to me what the cost is. They have a calculator. They make it very complicated, whereas this one is super straightforward. You get what you see, and there's no nickel and diming or any type of things there. That's the one thing you really want to look out for is nickel and diming. Some of these prep centers will charge you a ton for boxes, extra stuff, random stuff that you're like, what is this? Why am I being charged? So that's one thing you want to make sure is that it's super clear on their extra services. So I don't really like this one. I'm not going to lie to you. It just looks like there's too much going on here. It's hard to figure out how much it exactly costs. It's not very clear in the description. But we're going to look at some Montana ones now for the remainder of the call or the remainder of the video. So let's go down to Montana, which is another one that's super cheap. The only disadvantage is really the turnaround time, because it takes a while to ship from Montana to, it usually goes to Vegas, California. It takes a while to get there because Montana is, quite frankly, in the middle of nowhere. So let's take a look at two of them here and let's get an idea. So we have this one here, Gray Fox Prep. So usually Montana, you're going to see some lower end websites, which is not a red flag. It's just they're usually like mom and pop. They're not like a big company doing a prep center. So they basically have it. So the things you want to see is like, do they sell on Amazon? Looks like they actually do sell on Amazon, and they made their own prep center. So yeah, they attained a warehouse, which are the realization they could help other sellers. That's not a red flag. You just want to make sure that they're not buying your products, maybe sign some kind of agreement, but I think you should be fine. I don't actually have an agreement in place. My prep center, they don't sell on Amazon. So I don't really have to worry about that, but that is interesting. That's something I would definitely check out. So they have pricing details here. So this is kind of expensive for Montana, $175 a unit, $165. So they get more nicer as the volume goes up, but that sounds like a lot to me. The bundles, so bundles volume rate plus 50 cents. One thing you want to make sure is like, is it per unit? So if you send them 2 units, ask them if is it, or you send them a bundle that has 2 units inside of it. Ask them, are you paying $1.75 plus a bundle fee, or are you paying $175 per unit for that bundle? So if you're shipping something or you're selling something that's a bundle of 2, you don't want to be paying $175 times 2 per unit. So you want to make sure you clarify what the cost of a bundle of 2 is, what the cost of a bundle of 3 is. That's something that I made a mistake with, and I was not clear with my last prep center. So that's one thing that kind of bit me in the butt a little bit. So yeah, this is a little expensive for Montana. I definitely think you can find a little bit cheaper, around $150, $125 per unit. So I would definitely probably disqualify this one just because of the volume here. I mean, I'm paying less than $175 for Delaware. So that's just an example of, this is a little expensive. So I would probably qualify this one out. It is pretty clear though. Everything, the specialty units are clear, like what's what, how much is Funko Pop. So that's pretty clear on pricing. So it includes, that's one thing that's a good sign though. It includes polybag as well, bubble wrap, outbound. So if you do a lot of polybagging, bubble wrap, outbound shipping boxes. So it is one price. That's not that bad, honestly, considering you don't have to pay for boxes. If you get nickel to dime by boxes, it really adds up. So it does include a lot of stuff. So I take that back, but it still is a little bit on the higher end, in my opinion, for Montana. I think after all the extra things, I was paying an extra 15 cents a unit, about 125 to 139 a unit, basically after all the boxes and everything. I divided it to figure out how much extra I was paying from like the nickel and diming I was talking about. But yeah, this looks a little expensive to me. Let's check out this one here. So still, as you can see, it's kind of like a smaller type of website, nothing crazy. You can create an account here. I don't know if I like that it's so easy. You want to try to have a little bit of exclusivity with the prep center so they don't overload themselves. So here's the pricing. Looks a little expensive as well. The volume goes down a lot though. So 1,000 units, $1.35 a unit. So if you're doing volume, that sounds like a pretty good price to me. They do charge for boxes though. So yeah, I would definitely take this one over that one because it's all inclusive. They charge for poly bags. They charge for a bunch of different things. So you got to look at what they're charging extra for here. They charge for 75 cents for a bundle, which is kind of expensive. They charge a lot for shoes. Actually, no, rubber band's free. New box is $3.75. So they have a lot of different information here. It's kind of confusing for a newer seller. I probably wouldn't recommend going through with this prep center because it's just too overwhelming for a new seller. I like to see if it's straightforward and clear. So I think I've seen this one before. Let's take a look at Big Sky Prep real quick and see if this one looks like the ideal. I don't know what this is, but let's go back. All right, let's try a different one. I think I looked at this one. Yeah, so I've seen this one before. This one looks a lot better in terms of pricing. So it is pretty cheap. So it's $1 per unit. Definitely something I want to test out. This is on the cheaper end of things, but one thing I want to note is always test the prep centers to make sure that they are legit. You know, you want to, just because this list has them on there doesn't mean they're 100. They are probably legit, but doesn't mean that they're 100% the best prep centers. So you should not send all your units there at once. Maybe send 20% of the units to see how their turnaround time is, test them out. That's one thing that's super important. But this one I like. It's very straightforward. The boxes are here. The bundles are clear. The poly bag, everything is clear as far as pricing, and the poly bags are pretty clear as pricing, and the cost per unit is relatively low. So I do like this one. I've pointed this one out before to other people. It does look pretty good. So they have it pretty clear on how to set things up as well. There's a lot of info. They take PayPal. So, you know, obviously if you're concerned about something happening, they take PayPal. You can get your money back if something did happen. But yeah, so this looks pretty good. And they're a small family ran prep center, mom and pop, basically expand the Amazon business. So they do sell on Amazon. So they know a thing or two about prepping. So that's a good thing. But yeah, this looks really good. I definitely think this one is the best one we've seen out of all the Montana ones. And this is probably the one I would definitely contact if I was looking for a prep center. But definitely a volume game. You're going to probably contact 10, 20 different prep centers, and you'll eventually find the right one for you. So use this list, though. It will definitely help you out. And I think it's really, really a valuable tool for us as Amazon sellers. And I'll link it in the description if you want to check it out. And yeah, hopefully you guys have some good luck finding your first prep center. And if you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.